Hello and welcome to the 3T RPG podcast. Nick's not here today, so we got Sean filling in. All right, Sean?
Morning.
How you doing?
Man. Glad to be here.
What's the latest in the conspiracy circles?
Well, I mean, the Queen died. Did she die? Was she in that coffin? No, sorry.
Good question. These questions and more will be answered throughout the course of the show, but we'll also be taking your feedback, doing News Punch. We'll talk about what we've been playing in the What You Slayin' section. Then we've got the main subject, which is going to be the sad history of Dave Arneson. And then we're going to speak about your electro letters. Shall we do?
I think we do.
Feed my back. Feed back. Feed back. Feed back. Feed back. Let's feed back. Feed back. Feed back.
So, feedback. Morgan Ellis, he comes in with the first one. He says, the 3Ts continue to ask the important questions like, does lightning bounce? So, yeah, obviously last time we did an off-topic special where you were supposed to be on it, Sean. Then you called in sick.
Yeah.
And then you called me during the podcast, interrupting it further, saying, oh, mate,
Yeah,
like,
You should turn up.
can I
Did that
come
annual
on?
leave go through, though?
No.
Ah.
You're not entitled to it, mate.
Can I have some money?
No.
No.
Because I had to slap up Spoon's breakfast, you know.
It's AWOL, mate.
He did buy us all a Monster Energy each, but
Still not forgiven.
Yeah, it can't come out of the can't come out of Patreon money. I already spent it on Monster Energy actually. But I think Monster Energy are going to shout us out in their next ad campaign.
Big shout out. Give us some caps. Give us some of those caps. I won't put a tattoo on me, but I might shout Monster Energy out of my window one time.
Yeah, so, you know, if you're listening, Monster Energy, Sean is free advertising. So the Buttman, he says, just started the episode, which is the last one. He says, but any episode that Harrison telling Sean, shut up near the beginning is going to be a good episode.
Oh, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the Full Metal Alchemist of podcasting.
Don't even know what that means. Polish Ogre, he says, I would never support theoretically beating the living piss out of someone, sending weird audio porn to your wife, but I wholeheartedly support using fake script of such porn for joke podcast material that may mock and resemble said weirdo. Also, such links should never be written on men's rooms' walls. So we discussed in the last episode, we were talking about weird players, and of course, one of the players that I played with on a reg sent porn of himself to my wife, audio porn to be fair, so it's not quite as bad, but yeah, so we're not going to beat the piss out of him, but we will put a few links on the bathroom walls. as we have found out, right, fucking the links to the audio stuff very rarely work. You've got to be very persistent with it. So if you're listening, mystery man,
Or
maybe
woman.
use a or woman or other, but let's be honest, man. Just maybe host it somewhere else. Maybe make it a podcast and we'll do a bit of cross promo. That is it for feedback. Shall we do some news? Oh, yeah. News Punch. Life-changing Dungeons and Dragons Lego competition.
What?
What?
So, do you guys know about Lego ideas?
Yes.
Not just ideas about Lego.
Yes.
Okay, good. So for those that don't know, it's a website, and that is it. See you next time, everyone. No, from what I can gather, it's a place where people can post their builds and ideas for kits, right? Only for the Lego company to take the ideas for free and become richer. Now, every so often, right, Lego Corporation, this website will run a competition funded by one of their collaborators with prizes to be won. So, for example, the last one was Lego Cross Target, where they did a competition with Target, the store in America. What? And they asked builders to make a piece that encompasses what family means to them. The prize, right, is that Lego will sell your idea, and you get it. And guess what you get?
You get your idea for free.
Where they get your idea for free, you get in return
the build.
A discount.
Nothing.
You don't even get the build.
You get fuck nothing. Well, they probably send you one of the free kits or like a sort
Surely
of
you need to
5%
get, like,
discount code.
The OG build, like build one, innit? You know what I mean?
The multi-build.
Well, actually, to be fair, you would have already built it, so they don't need to send you a kit.
That's
No.
That's so thoughtful.
So you get fuck nothing. Anyway, this time, right, you're in luck because LEGO Ideas are teaming up with Wizards of the Bloody Old Coast and they're allowing you to do their design work for them. The prize, however, isn't nothing, right? By designing a LEGO set that celebrates D&D's 50th anniversary, you win 1% of the net sales of the product, which could be pretty big, right? But
Probably won't be, though, will it?
No, let's be honest.
Yeah, but imagine if it was.
Well, I tried to look up some of the profits on some popular individual sets, but I couldn't really find anything. But I've got an idea for a set that we could submit. Sean, stop chugging that monster. Concentrate, will you?
I'm listening and chugging.
Oh, sorry. Well, don't chug. People might hear the chug.
Chug.
Anyway, yeah, so I've got an idea that we could submit for D&D's 50th anniversary and maybe become very rich, right?
Go on.
Because they're a corporation, so they're about the profits, right? So we sell them. Well, you just do a blank Lego board and
Colour
then
your own.
Yeah. So you just say it's a battle map. D&D's all about imagination. So, you know, D&D battle map.
Step further, you create like a box out of Lego, right? You create like this really nice box, like really nice, and then you just
Really nice.
and then just put fistfuls of cash in there or something. I'd say.
Yeah, but cash is not Lego. Anyway, I'm sure they would like that. But yeah, so, you know, you can design a D&D Lego kit. The thing is, I know Lego makes a lot of money, right? But I don't think that individual sets make loads of money. Like the Harry Potter ones might, like the Hogwarts one, right?
Star Wars does.
Yeah, but then they're all different.
Ones.
They're all
They
different
make
like
money.
sets, though, aren't they?
I imagine
Yeah, they are.
I don't think one D&D one's going to make shitloads of money.
people buy one and then they go and buy loads of others, innit? It's more like that sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's only
Exactly.
going to be one D&D set ever.
So the 1% on that is probably going to be like £100,
Under a quid.
something like that.
could do
Idiots
with
at
that.
Wizards of the Coast make a product for idiots. So we don't really talk about collectible card games on this podcast, but that's our other podcast called Card Bastards. But I just wanted to mention something that caught my eye as I was browsing, stealing news from other websites. So Wizards of the Coast own Magic the Gathering, right? And as we all know, and we all know that, but peep this, right? It was recently the 30th anniversary of the card game, and so Wizards released a celebratory product creatively named Magic the Gathering 30th Anniversary Pack. Now, these packs are $1,000
Fucking why?
for a box containing 15 packs of cards, right?
Wait, are they a standard set of 15 or are they just a
So I think what it is they're reprints of classic cards, right? Some rare ones, but there's 15 of them for £1,000. But that's not all, right? So, as anyone who's ever busted open a Pokemon card knows, the backs of the card, right, in all these games, they have to be the same because otherwise your opponent might identify which cards you have.
Oh, great.
For some reason only known to our Lord and Saviour Jesus Crisp, these 30th anniversary cards have a different back, meaning that they aren't tournament legal, meaning that they're pointless. So, if you want a bunch of useless crap for $1,000, it's yours.
Oh, mate, I think I'm going to buy that right now.
Well, because I think that
Do you reckon they tried to stop people from using the original sets in a way?
well, yeah, because I guess some of them are like super rare, and they didn't want to upset the balance or something. I don't know, but it's baffling. And the thing is if they can't be used in a tournament setting, I wonder if they'll ever be worth anything anyway.
They
So
probably, in fact, lowered the original ones' prices now as well. So.
no, because but those ones are still with the originals would still be usable in tournaments. So they're still the same rarity as they ever was. But yeah, what a load of absolute shite.
I think that's a bit fucking mental, that is, to be honest.
They're also gonna bring out a 30th anniversary D&D box set made entirely of Lego. But you have to buy the book separately.
Wizards of the Coast, in other news, are handing out like after school packs in the USA. They're going to roll out after school packs of D&D stuff.
But that's good.
That's really good, yeah.
So they've done 2 stupid decisions, 1 good one.
Yeah, so I wanted to balance it out, really.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
it's
but-
better than them handing out guns.
They probably are, but they're like mage stuffs and all that instead, innit?
Yeah, I bet. Let's be honest, D&D is more dangerous than guns
Oh, yeah.
because it's satanic.
It is.
If that's
Satanic panic, man.
exactly, it's a fact. Should we get into what we've been playing? Yes.
have one of these. Oi, yeah? What you slaying?
So, Black Hack. This is by a man called Something Black, whose name I forget. But yeah, so I'm doing a West Marches type campaign, monthly campaign with, for those that don't know, West Marches is like rotating cast of characters. It allows for people to drop in, drop out. It's all about player-led, exploration-based gaming, right? So I basically stupidly heavily inspired by Dungeon Man. What's his name? Professor Dungeon Master. I've been doing my own version of Keep on the Borderlands with and doing a West Marches thing using the Black Hack. And the Black Hack is like, well, it's old school D&D again. It's BX D&D, but it's just very streamlined, stripped down, and has a lot of cool tools as opposed to a lot of over the top rules. But yeah, I very much enjoyed the first session. Did you, James?
Yeah, man, it was sick.
What did you like about it?
I just like how it sort of flowed. Like you say, it is a player-led adventure type thing, and it really had that perfect feel to it, where we sort of just busted up into a tavern, typical place where it had loads of odd jobs.
Called the Slut.
Yes, that was a good name. There's some good names in this. And it was just nice to be able to have a selection, but also like a physical selection, because Harrison printed stuff off and made it look all old and that. So it was quite nice to have it.
Yeah, so Sean, they get to this keep on the Borderlands, believe it or not. And it's like the world has been fucked and monsters are everywhere, and this is like one of the last safe places. And the characters meet because they all happen to turn up at the same time, pay the toll, and he says, one of the keep's guards, he says, look, homelessness is illegal here, so you need to find somewhere to stay by the end of the night. Otherwise, you're getting chucked out, and you can go out there with the wolves and that.
Yeah.
And so they go to the notice board, and I've made like, well, they're not all quests, but like the notice board will have various things in it. So there was a guy like advertising himself for hire. There was a guy who's been creating chaos in the actual keep that the guards are after and can't seem to get their hands on. A woman's son has gone missing. Somebody also needs them to go and collect sort of deposits of moonstone, which is like drugs from the side of the walls of some of the local caves.
Yeah, and there was also some graffiti on there.
Yes, yeah, there was. And it was like, Shelley, thou art a slag, and stuff like this.
Yeah, it was really nice.
It was good. It was a good laugh. And essentially, this came about because Nick, when he comes down, obviously he's moved away, right? He hasn't been gaming. That's a fact. He hasn't gamed in a long while. Because he cut off his Alien campaign like a chump. Did you see I've been posting in the Discord for that?
No, man.
I've been like, Nick, when is episode 3?
Nick, hello.
It's been a year, hasn't it? But yeah. So we were in the pub after one of these records, and he's like, do you know what? My wife said that we should do. Do you know what my wife said, right? She was like, oh, you got like. She said, she suggested that after I record, that we play an afternoon game once a month, right? And we get a campaign going. And I was like, yeah, and that's a great idea, Nick. What do you think you'll run? He was like, well, actually, I was hoping you could run it. And I was like, well, thanks a lot, mate. But yeah, I chose the Black Hack because it's simple, and I think it's very loot driven and well suited to a game like this. You can turn up, pick a different character from the pool if you want, and the levelling up is really simple. To where if you, in this case, if you pick a character and play them twice, they get an advancement.
Well, and you hadn't played it yet because you got it at UK Games Expo.
I got it at UK Games Expo because our Alien game got fucked, and we were supposed to go back and play it in the hotel room, but we got really drunk, played Mario Party, and ate a kebab instead.
It was fucking sick.
It was well good.
Best tasting kebab, you know.
But yeah, I mean, one of the highlights for me is in the Black Hack box set, which is the one that I got, it comes with a bunch of really useful shit. So it's like, let me see, it comes with like the little spell books. So you got all the spells in these tiny books, and they're all just like one sentence spells. It's got all the character sheets in there. It's got these die drop rolling tables. So for example, Sean, when they would loot a corpse, I put it's just like a bit of paper. You put it on the table, drop a dice onto it, and then the number and the location it hits means something.
Yeah.
So it might be like, if you get 5 or 6, that's usually treasure. If you get a 1 to a 4, then you usually get that in coins. but they got a bunch of stuff. I can't even remember what it was, but like they found a bunch of weird stuff, like a pickled head in a jar and like shit like this.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, it was a very good laugh, and the way they've made the classes is kind of cool because thieves, for example, they have an infinite supply of knives just on them. Like if they need to pull out a knife at any point during the scene, then they've got one.
Yeah, it's
Simple.
banging that
Do
there's
they not need to like go and pay some money at a town to like?
They're the one thing that doesn't have a usage die associated. So you don't track ammo, you just have a usage die, and then you roll it. If it's 1 or a 2, then you go down to the next die. If you run out, then you need to re-up, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's a really good idea because it means you don't have to track it. You just at the end of the turn, you do the usage roll and then see if it breaks, basically.
But also, Nick,
cool.
Nick, if the way they do sneak attacks for thieves is pretty cool because it's like if Nick is hidden, then he just hits and he rolls 2d6 plus 2 for damage, where usually you roll a d6. So he's like really enjoying playing the thief. And then there's a guy called Pryor who is our cleric, and they're pretty standard. But James is playing a warrior called Mumkar, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, so warriors get this thing called Dealer of Death. So they get a number of d6s equal to their hit die per round that they can associate, like spread around to pick adjacent foes. So if he's surrounded by 8 people, he can assign a d6 to each one and then roll it with his successful attack. And it actually worked out really well because as people were piling onto James's character, you were just fucking slicing and dicing left, right, and centre.
That sort of works out because it's like that sort of fighter skill where you have like you can like do quick slash and then you do like a stab backwards and then it's like
from like if you watch Conan or something like that, right? That's how he fights. It's never just he hits one guy, they hit back.
Definitely.
Like you're going in there swinging like a mad cunt, and it kind of means that most of the classes are sort of equal in that regard. But yeah, Black Hack is very good. I mean, it's old school D&D again, but I think it's got some nice little changes to it. And
well, those changes are banging because it just takes some of the crunching out, and it just allows
and
you
it makes
to
it
focus,
more fun.
Yeah, you focus on role playing and the story, and the fact that, say for instance, you have those different abilities, like dealing dice of death, or dealing with the thing what you just said,
Bad death.
the bad death. Then it makes it like well exciting and
The last one I wanted to point out, Sean, I think you'll like this rule. So, is armor, right? Works that your armor has a certain value. If there's any point where you would take damage, so if you failed a defense roll, you can just tank that damage, right? You say, I don't take the damage, and your armor is knocked down by 1 point, right?
oh that's good. Yeah.
And then
so you've got like 9 health, you get hit for 8, and then you choose to use your 3 points of armor, and then you just knock 1 off to make it 2.
Yep, and then when you get a moment, so it's like any point where you can, take 10 minutes, you get a dice for each armor point that you've knocked off, and you roll it, and as long as you rolled over the armor's initial value, you repair that point of armor. So it's like this ongoing thing where you're sort of always patching together your armor. By the end of the session, if you've done it plenty of times, then your armor's like basically all duct taped up and shit like this. It's very good.
Oh, that's cool. Like, so you can just try and do it yourself, as well as going to like you can't.
You could probably just go and get it repaired.
Smith,
yeah, but like within
During combat,
you're like
that is cool. That is cool.
like if you're in the middle of a dungeon, yeah.
And it's decent as well because you're quite your mortality rate's high because your health is pretty low.
Let's talk about Savage Pathfinder, shall we?
Oh, it's good. Almost died. So
well, there's a question later on in the Electro letters about TPKs, and we almost had another one. So Savage Pathfinder, we've been playing it. We've spoken a little bit about the system before, how it emulates the Pathfinder high-powered feel within Savage Worlds. Sean's like looking a bit shifty here because he knows
wincing
he knows what we're going to talk about. So we've gone sort of back to sort of very classic fantasy for this campaign, which is fitting. And Sean's it's great. It's great.
So what's
going on?
Getting at?
No, it's great. No, it's just Yeah, I mean, so I've been playing T-Bearer, who's a torchbearer. James is Ruddles, who is a dwarf barbarian, who we've given basically any magic item or armor or anything like this that beefs up toughness or damage, we give it to him.
Yeah, so he's madness.
And then we had Cy Thatcher, who is a fighter. Anyway, we've been playing together, and we have said, like, this is one of the best crop of 3 characters we've ever had. The sort of the way that we have a hierarchy among us and shit like this, like, it's been awesome. And we're trying to track down these elemental crystals that have recently started to get infected with evil. Anyway, go to do this water crystal. And the whole thing is there's this. Well, Sean, why don't you explain the scenario here with the water crystal?
Okay, so basically, there's been like a power struggle in this massive sort of city for a long time. The water crystal is now being used by the worst gang in the whole city to control the water, so the citizens will then have to pay them for water. Somehow they've gotten the power to use the water crystal. These guys had to go in and retrieve it, but first talking to the mayor, trying to grease the wheels, and then trying to go and get all the cops back, all the splinter cells.
Right, okay, right, you're veering off. Nobody's going to know what you're talking about at this point, but that's essentially it, right? Gang sorted the crystal, the mayor, he tells us to go and get it.
Yeah,
so we
shut up. You got to go and like
Silence.
reunite the police force.
Shut up, Sean.
Police force.
Shut up. Yeah, and we decided to reunite the police force by taking down the gang at the same time, right? Anyway,
Yeah.
Shut up. So anyway, we hatched this amazing plan, right? And I mean fucking amazing, where we were trying to lure them to a laundrette because these people, they had a protection racket going, and the laundrette was one of them. So we set up an ambush whereby I was going to lock the door behind them because my character was a thief. James, you were hiding in a pile of washing.
Yep.
And then we're going to jump out, right?
Yep.
And start killing people. We had Cy Thatcher hiding nearby as well. Boss comes in. First move. Sean says, right, he's going for the explosive shrug.
No, wait. I'll explain it, because you guys had a really good plan and it was going really well. So he came in through the door. The woman who owned the laundrette, he was lured through into her room, and then these guys jumped him while his back was turned. The other boys were outside in the back waiting for some sort of emergency to go.
So
down.
anyway, the boss...
But they managed to like shake the boss, so he was on the floor. He was nearly dead. But then the other boys come in, start a ruckus. But then
this is so
they're doing well.
They're
doing well.
Shut your mouth.
Unfortunately,
Sean, stop talking.
No, wait. Unfortunately, these guys. He gets up. The boss gets up, and he does an exploding shrug.
Right. Right. So we need to explain that though, because Sean was like to demonstrate.
Just like it's normal.
Yeah, he just does an explosive shrug, right?
He shrugs.
But that's how it was explained to us at the time. It's like he goes for the exploding shrug and then rolls for it. We're like, what is that? And it's like, this guy's so powerful that when he shrugs, it causes like a explosion
or something.
Like, and it was just like.
And the thing was, it busted us, right? It busted us, and then we flew and hit a wall, and then we got hit the wall damage as well on top, and everyone was getting absolutely fucked.
And let's be honest, your character James wasn't going to die. It's very tough, right?
It's very tough,
but you've still got loads of.
Really died, mate.
Yeah, and he's on like 14 toughness or something. So yeah, I mean, the thing is, right, is that immediately after that, right, we lose initiative because we're out of bennies. We can't re-roll or unshake. So our characters are shaken, meaning we can't act in the next turn. So it goes me, other guy at our game, then it's the boss's turn again. Sean just goes, right, he's going for the exploding shrug, and he rolls it again. And it's like 9d10 damage or whatever. And it's just like... Because we're shaken and incapacitated, it's another attack on an incapacitated foe. Essentially a coup de grace. Both characters die.
And then he just made that aware to Sean, and then he went, "No!"
Yeah, the classic Sean noise. No. Yeah. So like two of the most fun characters that we've ever had.
It was definitely like the best trio we've had at a table.
Yeah, definitely. It was the saddest funeral I think we've done ever.
It's still going, mate.
Still going.
Still going.
So yeah, we took a week off after that because it's gonna be shit now. But the thing is, right, is that the exploding shrug. It's like the manner in which we died. It was like almost insulting.
Yeah,
it goes with the explosive shrug.
It was like episode 11, isn't it? Something like that. And then you guys got killed by a shrug.
So we buried my old character, and one of the storylines, my character's backstory was that his wife, there's a really messy divorce, and she got everything. He was a lawyer, but now he's a torchbearer. Anyway, his wife and her new wife had sort of indoctrinated my character's son, right? So they were like, brainwashing him, saying, "Oh, your father was a nobody, this, that, and the other," but actually she's the bad person. Anyway, don't read into this, listeners, but in this fantasy game, my son saw me on TV and realised that I was a hero, and so he came back to go and meet him, only to find out that he's dead, and that's going to be my next character. So it's Torchbearer's son, Little Bearer.
Yep.
And he's like, "Oh man, my dad's dead. I got to avenge him." So my current idea is to make him a monk, right? Because his mum is like really middle class and made him do yoga lessons.
That's really good. That's really good.
It does the job, But I was thinking like Wii Fit Trainer from Smash Brothers. It's sort of like praise the sun.
Yeah, let's get all the bad ideas out now, yeah.
Fuck you. No, it's a good idea.
Well, nah. Well,
Monkey magic.
When Nintendo did it, I mean, the concept was good.
No, but I mean, like, he uses sort of like yoga-based moves, like Dowsim.
Oh, right.
Like Dowsim.
Okay, do that.
Yoga fire!
Yeah, do that, please.
Chuffy neck. So yeah, we got that, and then obviously the other player, James Tomasson, shout out to Buscus. He is going to be playing a fan of Ruddles, your character, James, who saw him on the TV, and he's like a super fan. He's got the posters. He's come to our hometown to get it signed by him.
He followed us, and he's just behind where we are at the minute, or where I am at the minute. But yeah, we actually contemplated when all of that happened, just actually ending the campaign.
But the only trouble is because Ruddles is still alive.
Yeah.
We can't just let the world go into ruin. So we have to do this, even if the new characters aren't quite as good as the old ones. We've got to try, haven't we? Because you're still alive.
I still think there'll be. I mean,
no, it'll be good. It'll be good. It's just going to be different, isn't it? But obviously, it's going to be good. And I think my new character's got quite a strong motivation, and it's grounded in something we were all a part of. 100%. Do you know what I mean? So
I think that the hierarchy, if there still is one, would flip. So JT
so
would be at the
Tabuscus with the fan, he's going to be. We get him to do all of our dirty work.
He's right
because it was quite clear that your character, throughout the course of the 11 episodes, gained a grudging respect for T-Bearer, and so you like his son, you're well up for having him.
Well, the thing is that he was very behind closed doors. He befriended his companions or his minions, because that was kind of how we portrayed them.
There was that emotional scene where you thought T-Bearer was going to die, and while he was unconscious, you sort of basically said that,
you're like, no.
You loved him, but not in those words.
He was like, he was a great man. And then when I woke up, I'm like, all right, I'm okay. And then you were like, shit, you didn't hear anything, by the way.
Yeah, it was really good. It's a really nice character developments, but they're gone.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the campaign though, and I hope they continue. So what we're gonna do for the next bit is we're gonna sort of cut to the recruitment of the new characters, and then we're going to try and go back and get the water crystal. But this time we're going to do it with a better plan, one that doesn't involve us being within a medium burst template of
a shrug.
Yeah.
With wall damage.
Yeah, so probably I'm thinking sniping, dynamite, something like that. But I mentioned dynamite to Sean the other day while we were playing Splatoon 3. And Sean was like, I don't know if dynamite would work on him, you know what I mean? And I'm like, who is this fucking guy? What is he, fucking Superman?
Oh wait, what? Who won't dynamite work on?
The shrug monster.
The shrug guy.
Oh no, the
shrug bear.
The only reason you can't really use dynamite is because the mayor of the city asks you to not use dynamite to like because that would sort of destroy stuff.
We'll take his suggestion on board.
Demolish things and that.
No, we'll take his suggestion on board. No, we'll lure him out to like
we'll
a
just
park
tell
or
him,
somewhere.
Look, mate, it was a shrug.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll look.
It weren't dynamite.
We'll be like, we got this stuff for you. Like we got a deal for you. Come out to the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. His shrug killed 2 out of the 3 fated heroes of the world.
You killed the shrug monster. Like you killed the shrug monster.
Oh yeah, that's right. Ruddle
I did
stayed.
in the end.
You sliced his head off.
I was gonna keep him alive. We were gonna keep him alive, and then switch him back to be in the police force. But instead, I had a rage and killed the fucking cunt.
Fair enough though.
Yeah.
But still, like one of the other gangs has got the water crystal, so we still need to go back there. It's probably going to be like an exploding sigh or like something like this.
No, I mean, but there will probably be a civil war sort of going on now.
Yeah, but there are more important things than that one city, right? Because the whole world's going to be fucked.
Yeah, but that city's a part of the world.
It is, but they can sort out stuff between them. Eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
We'll do our best to like help it, but we got to get the water crystal, mate.
I think
And
by getting the water crystal, you probably will help the city, though.
There you go.
We'll
Fair
just
enough.
flood it, and then they'll all die. Fuck it.
2 of every type of creature goes on a boat.
Yeah.
End of story. Well, yeah. So that's Savage Pathfinder.
Can I like can I chuck in a couple of like
spoilers?
maybe video game like things?
Oh.
Have you guys talked about Splatoon 3, didn't you?
Yeah, on the off-topic episode.
Oh. Okay.
What? Just tell me what game you're going to mention.
Well, just a couple. I was gonna.
You're going to mention that fucking racing game. That's not even close to being. Sean Down. How do I read you so well, right?
But it's so
Surely the only one you
so
could bring up
good.
is Xenoblade Chronicles, right?
Have you played Xenoblade Chronicles yet?
Not yet.
Well, then fuck you.
I'm going to play it today.
But
I'm excited.
at the very least, if you want to talk about a video game, it should probably be RPG related in some way,
Yeah.
like be an RPG or something.
Like Zen, innit?
Oh,
So the car
Splatoon
game that
3?
you know. I spoke about Splatoon 3 on the off-topic episode last
I
time.
suppose you have to level up in it. You could have used that defense, but it wasn't.
But it wasn't even about RPGs that time. So no, you can't talk about your racing game. I'm not advertising it.
Oh, it's so good.
Just say the name of it and then we'll move on. There we go. All right. Do you want
getting cut.
Do you want to? Yeah. I'm just going to bleep it. All right. Should we do a main subject?
Main. Subject. Magic. Main. Subject. Tokyo. Main. Subject.
So Gary Gygax, right? That's a name that everyone knows. A name synonymous with our hobby, D&D, and nerddom the world over. Having appeared on Futurama and created the world's most popular role-playing game, he's one of very few RPG designers whose fame extends beyond the hobby. But we all know that it was co-created by Dave Arneson, and while Arneson is mentioned more and more in conversations around D&D's early years, he still has nowhere near the level of credit that Gygax does. So today we're going to have a look at the man, his history with D&D, and his contribution to the hobby. And the reason we're doing this right now is because recently some letters have surfaced where Arneson wrote to Wizards of the Coast after they acquired the game that he helped to create. And in these letters he applied for a job with them. Which is one of the saddest things ever. Now, before I start this, I just want to say a quick disclaimer because depending on which source you look at, sometimes the history, including dates and what happened and things like this, is told differently. And I'm fairly certain, I don't know for certain, but a little bit, is that some of the information in this may be even different to an episode where we've spoken about TSR's history before. Because depending on who you ask, there are slightly different variations, but just bear that in mind. So with that, let's give a little background and get into D&D's often unsung hero, Dave Arneson. So we covered on our episode the RPG that predates D&D, Gary Gygax, and we have a lot to thank him for, but he wasn't ever the real brains behind D&D. People often cite Gygax's game Chainmail as being proto-D&D, but really, Gygax was a wargamer back in the 70s, and Chainmail was nothing more than a set of rules for medieval skirmishes, often originally written by Jeff Perrin, then co-developed in later editions by Gygax. So at the time, right, Gaza, he ran not Paul Gascoigne. He ran a group. I'm playing some fucking chainmail, man. He ran. I think I've made that joke before, actually. Ran a group of wargamers called the International Federation of Wargaming. and that had a subsection called the Castle and Crusade Society, of which Dave Arneson was a member. Now, the Castle and Crusade Society, of course, was all medieval shit, and we'll come back to that in a bit. But in the International Federation of War Gaming, there was a bloke called David Wesley, who was Wesley Snipes, who was running a Napoleonic war game by the name of Braunstein, set in a fictional German town. And the players, between battles, started exploring the town, scouting locations, visiting the doctors, that type of thing. Now, while Western Gunfight in the UK was really one of the first instances of proper role-playing in the very early 60s, Dave Wesley was doing something similar around the same time in his Napoleonic war game. Now, it's difficult to tell if these games inspired each other or happened to be purely coincidentally similar or what, but it's possible that Wesley and the Gunfight guys in the UK had heard each other because, as we know, Gygax was a subscriber to the Wargamers newsletter from the UK where the Gunfight rules were published. In any case, our boy Dave Arneson, right? He played in Wesley's Napoleonic game, and when Wesley joined the army in 1970, Dave Arneson went down to the Castle and Crusade Club, began running a medieval fantasy game using Jeff Perrin and Gygax's chainmail rules for combat, and of course using a fantasy supplement too. Now, at this time, right, the group organisers decided to form something they called the Great Kingdom, where every campaign group played in the same universe, right? And all the referees were in charge of parts of the game world. And this sounds fucking awesome, lads.
It does sound pretty sick, to be fair.
So the parts which each referee would take charge of would change as campaigns went on, like different armies would clash, things like this. So they were essentially like, each one was like the dictator or the referee of a certain part of the world.
Do you have any data on how many referees there were?
I think it was like 6 or 7, if I remember correctly.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, it sounds great.
Well, it's good to know kind of the sort of the size of it.
Yeah, and I think that I think that sounds amazing. I mean, you could do the same thing with role playing, where it's all the same world, and sometimes the characters will meet. 2 DMs then sit opposite each other. And sort of like, they try and out rules for each other.
Aye, that would be fucking funny.
It would be fucking great. And it would just be like, what?
Games already last long enough with like just the DM and the players shouting at each other.
That's right, too long. That mainly happens in your game, I've noticed. Yeah, when you try to tell me a clay golem is a wild card.
I quite enjoy it, and then we started getting rowdy and pointing at each other.
Yeah, it's because you're always trying to fuck us, Sean.
Every time.
And you're like, oh yeah, this clay golem's a wild card.
Mate, you don't know his story. I mean, it was a blob, and then it was a clay golem, but you know.
But internally, a lot was happening. You know what I mean? Like a lot of emotions when he turned into a guy. But yeah, so Dave Arneson, right? He was in charge of the far northern part of this campaign world, and in Dave Arneson's fanzine, Corner of the Table, which is what it's called, he mentions that his campaign was, as I mentioned, based on the Braunstein game, where players controlled one character instead of a whole army, and a bigger emphasis was made on exploring and adventuring and shit. And to cut a long story short, in the second issue of said magazine, Arneson wrote that he would soon publish a write-up of the battles in his area of the campaign world called the Blackmoors, right? Now, a lot of people are going to realise where this is going, but the Blackmoors became the centrepiece for the North Marches that Dave ran, and the characters became more and more involved in state politics, character arcs, non-war based shit, basically. And Arneson introduced XP, levelling up, character classes, and so on. Of course, Gygax was hanging around at the time, noticed this innovative RPG shit Davy Boy was doing, and leeched on, like he did with Chainmail, and the two of them began developing what was then called the fantasy game. I can imagine if they stuck with the name the fantasy game, probably wouldn't have done as well.
Nah, not at all. I mean, they probably would have got attention from the wrong kind of people.
Yeah, exactly. It would have done really well, but not in the right way.
Fatal, and that would be at the top, you know.
Yeah, that would have been the standard at this point, which, you know, I'm all for.
On all fours.
Not with you guys.
I'm on all fours.
That'd be weird if it was with you guys.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't play.
No, you wouldn't play it. You'd obey. So,
it's my brother, man. Anus. Now, they developed Dungeons and Dragons, right? Gygax and Arneson. And Gygax's fun fact. Gygax's daughter chose the name. But anyway, the two of them started the TSR company, and they made Dungeons and Dragons and so on and all that stuff. But Dave Arneson actually ended up leaving the company in 1976, not because of any kind of drama, but he wanted to pursue a career in independent game design. Then, of course, Gygax released Advanced D&D and tried to claim it was different enough that Arneson should receive bugger all for essentially, creating a new genre of gaming. And so Dave sued Gygax, right? They eventually settled out of court, with Dave being credited as co-creator and also receiving 2.5% of all profits. Take note, Lego. Now, it goes without saying that a lawsuit and your prior business partner trying to fuck you out of a living would create a bit of tension, but in 1981, Dave Arneson and Gary made up. And while Dave had been making some Blackmore-based shit through his company, which was called Adventure Games, he's not good at the names, is he?
No.
But yeah, he relinked Blackmore to D&D in 81, and that didn't last long though, this nice period, because TSR tried to fuck him out of royalties again, and they sued them again in 1984. Yeah.
Do you think the thing with the names, do you think it's like sort of like, how like in video games, like games were just called golf, so this was like adventure game because it's like so.
Yeah, that's because it was like so early on. Yeah. Now it's like you get like Biden, You're the Light, an RPG about magical girls or something. But no. Hello. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, that's right. One other fun fact is that at the time where Dave Arneson they were trying to fuck him. Reportedly, Gary Gygax sent him a picture of their new $3.5 million offices and was just sort of gloating about it. But there we go. As we covered in our Silver Princess episode, in October 1985, Gygax himself was also forced out of the company, which is karma, basically, when the manager, Lorraine Williams, bought the lion's share of the company and then basically fired him. And of course, alongside this, Arneson's projects got shit-canned and he too left. Of course, 12 years later, after many terrible business decisions and some terrible products, the company was in more debt than a person who's in loads of debt, and they sold the company to Wizards of the Coast. But all of this basically demonstrates how important Arneson is to the story of D&D, and in fact, I would say, right, that while Gygax is the one that got the fame and appeared in Futurama and all of that stuff, if Gygax wasn't there, D&D probably would have still happened anyway. Let's be honest. Because he developed Arneson's ideas, and he sort of developed Gygax's. It's not even his ideas, it was just a medieval war game, really, right?
I think Gygax was the businessman, though, wasn't it?
It sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it probably wouldn't have been as widespread. It probably would have still been amongst old dudes that play war games for whom the camera real ale guide is like the Bible. Do you know what I mean?
100%, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, but nonetheless, it wouldn't have been as famous. And now Arneson's story, right, it sort of ends there. At least his involvement with D&D does. Or does it, though?
Or does it, though?
Because you've read the title of the episode.
I didn't even know the subject.
I said it earlier, you fucking mong.
Oh, excuse me.
Because thanks to the impeccably researched book Slaying the Dragon, The Secret History of D&D by Ben Riggs, which was published in July this year, some new letters from Dave Arneson to Wizards of the Coast have been discovered. In these depressing missives, written in 1997, we discovered that Arneson tried to get a job at Wizards of the Coast as creative director for D&D. Now, if the idea of a man who created the game begging to be involved again is sad enough, but even sadder, right, we're going to have a nice deep look at what he wrote. And it tells a story of a man whose passion for the game never left, but also as a man forced into obscurity by circumstance and greed. So that's nice.
Is this about the time that Hasbro bought Wizards of the Coast as well?
No.
When was that?
I don't know.
It was sometime in the 90s, wasn't it?
It was, hey Siri, when did Hasbro buy Wizards of the Coast? Please. Thank you. Quickly. It's doing it's just.
Okay, I've found this on the web for when did Hasbro
2018.
The coast, please, thank you.
What?
Check it out.
Shut up, Siri. 2018.
So what? Okay. No.
Shall I cut that out?
Yeah.
Shall I bleep that as
Yeah,
well?
if that's alright. Sure. Never mind. I was just thinking in terms of like them trying.
No, relatively, it's a short amount of time,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's only like, you're only 30 years off or whatever. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, but with Dave's letters, right? Should we dive in?
I think we should.
The first one was sent on April 11th, 1997, to the then CEO of Wizards of the Coast, who goes by the name of Peter Adkison. And these were sent during the negotiations of the buyout, basically. And before we get to the body of the letter, Dave's already made a fuck up. He's fucked it. Because he addressed the letter to Peter Adkins instead of Adkison.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, so he's fucked up. And the letter starts thusly. Dear Peter, my heartiest congratulations, Peter. Obviously, with the recent acquisition of TSR, you are now head of one of the largest game companies in the world. Insert bad joke using the word magic here. How the mighty have fallen and the lowly have risen, and from all reports, still pretty nice folks too. Now, I don't know if you guys agree with me here, but it's not a great move to refer to the CEO as the lowly.
Yeah.
And all the spelling errors, right? It's not a good look. There's spelling errors all over the shop with this. But after blaming the current TSR owners for the failure of the company, he says this. So what does Dave want? Referring to himself in the third person there.
Ah, man, the best kind of people to do that.
Well, and this is it. This is a bold move, right? He says, well, I would like to run TSR for you. If not that, then I would certainly like to be involved in TSR's operations and planning for role-playing games. In either case, I would do a wonderful job, and then a full stop, and then it just says for you, without a capitalised F. So he doesn't want to be brought on as a consultant or a writer. He wants to be in charge of TSR. And considering how bold a move that is, why did he phrase it like this? What does Dave want? I mean, it's not very professional, is it?
He was probably like steaming when he wrote it.
Yeah. He's
absolutely just gone.
Ever since the acquisition of TSR, he's been drinking whiskey with a brown bag over it, lying in the gutter, and he's like, "What does Dave want?"
Well, you tell me. And he's staring at himself.
I'll do a wonderful job.
But he hasn't even
for you.
He hasn't even stated the reasons why it'd be good. He just says he wants to be in charge.
Yeah, but he thinks his name alone carries the weight of everything.
Possibly.
It probably should carry a bit more weight to be.
Yeah, but you know what? I think there's two reasons, right? As James correctly pointed out, he's drinking. He's in the gutter. He's using it. How is he going to use a typewriter in those circumstances? Second of all, I think it's probably that he wasn't the business guy at TSL, right?
Not at all.
This is probably how he wrote emails internally.
It's probably how he wrote some of the stuff that needed to be corrected, even though it was obviously gold, because it helped birth,
the hobby. But they had editors, you know what I mean? So, yeah, anyway. So the last part of the one-page letter ends with Dave saying that he's not an egomaniac, which I don't know why he has to point. I think it's an obvious dig at Gary Gygax, isn't it?
Yeah.
And says he'll listen to, and in air quotes, he calls it the suits, like TSR had failed to do up until now.
Yikes.
And again, he's referring to upper management in like a semi-derogatory but definitely unprofessional manner, calling them the suits. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
But he's applying to be one of the suits.
He's trying to be a suit, and he's writing to the suit.
It's also very 90s.
But what he's saying essentially is, I'm going to let the big boys deal with the business side of things. But he's asking to be put inside of the business, in charge of it.
He obviously wrote that terribly. He could have just been like, "Can I be part of what this is, please? Because I've got to, I help create
a long history."
And then you can assign a job to me, or can we discuss?
Yeah, something like that. Just like
we've done it a bit better. We've only taken a few seconds.
Yeah. But then if printer ink is expensive.
Oh, it is.
Right?
You could just went, I'd like to be part of the new TSR.
Well just buy a new printer.
Hit me up.
Maybe we could just have a meeting and see where I would fit in. It's your boy Dave. What does Dave want?
Dave wants you.
Dave wants you. Dave's coming down in half an hour.
See you then.
Bringing Subway.
Milk and 2 sugars. But bringing Subway. Oh, we're sponsored by Subway, by the way. It may surprise you guys to hear that Dave Arneson never heard back from Wizards of the Coast, and as a result, he wrote them another letter 13 days later.
What?
And
is that it?
Yeah.
Surely you've got to leave it a few months.
He's desperate to hear back, mate. And this is where he really goofed it here, right? Because once again, he spelled Peter Adkison's name wrong and called him Peter Adkinson. Right? So let's dive into the next letter, right? Here's where it starts. Dear Peter, well, I told myself not to, but I keep thinking about TSR, etc. And so I started making some calls and gathering some information. And then in brackets he says, call it dungeon wandering. Don't know what he means by that. Yeah, I know the deal is far from settled, but I can't help it. For the first time in a decade, it looks like I can actually get involved with D&D again. What can I say? I'm excited about it. Here is what I've come up with. What does he mean by dungeon wandering?
As in he's wandering the dungeons by finding out information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, it sounds
Or
like he
he's-
doesn't really know about his own game.
Or he's living in the sewers.
Well, I think he's referring to TSR, so he doesn't really know about the current iteration of TSR, right? Because he hasn't been there in like 12 years.
Yeah.
But dungeon wandering, weird. Again, he needs to lay off the source. That's what it is.
It's unfortunate because, you know, like these days, he could have like done his own game and stuff, and he doesn't need to be a businessman. He can just go on Kickstarter, innit? And like, it's probably the
that's these days.
wrong time for him back then.
Well, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. He's born in the wrong time period. But anyway, so as I said earlier, Dave had been out of the company for a while at this point, and he's seen an opportunity, right? For the first time in 10 years, his game was being injected with new life. And as Ben Riggs puts it on his blog, he says, this letter is Arneson's moment. He wants to make D&D for a living again, and he has to put points on the board. He has to do it with this letter now, but he hasn't even bothered to check his punctuation. Because what the listeners won't see is that his letter is full of punctuation errors, some spelling errors, and of course he has got the wrong name on it, right? Which makes it even sadder.
Yeah.
But let's get into Arneson's plans for the company, because after this introduction, there's 6 pages of research and ideas, and I'll do my best to only show the important parts, because otherwise it will be boring. So he starts by saying, just about everything is dead in the water. There is no money to do anything. A good start. He continues, consequently, morale is bad. This will only get worse as time passes and nothing happens, because there is a deal in the works. They're hanging on, but some folks are already leaving. Now, this paints a really bleak picture.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that Wizards of the Coast didn't cancel right there. Because they're like, well, the company's fucked. There's no money to do anything. Nobody's passionate about it anymore, and so on. But Dave goes on to talk about the perceived problem with the lack of wholesale orders in the last few years. And he reads thusly. The headline, he's put the cult of personality. And once again, he's using his signature move. He goes, okay, Dave is really going to start flying high here.
Right, because he's about to smoke that meth.
Yeah, that's right. He has been bang on that type of stuff.
Yeah.
He's not happy.
He's actually writing, he keeps interjecting with the at the time.
Yeah. It's like, okay, Dave's really going to start getting fucked up now. That's why he refers to himself in the third person, because he's having an out-of-body experience.
So, hi, man.
Dave's really going to start flying high, man. He's looking at a mirror of himself doing meth.
Where you going, bro?
Where you going, bro? Come back.
Take me with you.
He continues, one of the problems with TSR has been his absolute opposition to developing and promoting authors. With the books or games, buyers like to go with known authors. They trust them more than just the publisher's logo. Just ask any bookstore owner. Same with the game store. And licenses are fine, but they can bomb as quick as anything when the game or book is not well done. Probably referring to Indiana Jones there. Authors are considered to be more reliable, but he shoots himself in the foot with the next part, right, where he talks about the D&D product line. And he says, well, you can certainly trim it a lot. Much will depend on what you want TSR to do, even if TSR will remain as a separate entity. The strongest part of the TSR line are its worlds and D&D. The worlds can be used by anyone with a bit of fixing, doing RPGs. Okay, well, this is just remember the punctuation is really weird and all over the shop here. While D&D is the wellspring from which all else has sprung, well, it is true, he puts in brackets, the TSR staff can start cranking out the Magic and World RPG game almost instantly and do a wonderful job of it, assuming no fatal personal losses. I'm not sure what he's talking about there, like what he's saying, just we can make sort of a Magic and D&D hybrid as long as nobody dies.
Yes, because everyone's obviously perceivably doing meth with him.
Well, and he's talked about people leaving the company. I suggest maybe he doesn't know what the word fatal means. Or he co-developed Fatal. Now, he's right? Because, in a sense, the worlds were, at the very least, well-liked and well-received. I mean, they had Ravenloft, Forgotten Realms, Dragonlance, Dark Sun. But here's the issue, right? And this proves that Dave doesn't necessarily understand the business side, and this is a bad pitch, right? Because these settings actually fractured the fan base and led to a loss of sales, because suddenly you had people who were fans of specific settings and not D&D as a whole. So let's say you're a Dark Sun guy, right? You buy the first box set, you love it, and so you wait for the next supplement for that setting. Meanwhile, TSR are releasing supplements and settings all over the shop, but you can't use Ravenloft shit with your Dark Sun shit. And there's also some other, generic D&D modules coming out. But again, you can't use it with Dark Sun. So, not without, altering it. Do you see what I mean? So where previously you might have had your eye on that stuff, instead you're running your Dark Sun campaign and skipping over the shit you can't use or don't need. So when Dave talks about pushing the worlds more, I can understand why, because D&D basically started because of the creation of his world with the Blackmore shit. But if I was Peter Adkison, what am I going to think when I see this? I'm going to think this guy is suggesting to focus on the very thing that destroyed the company. Do you know what I mean?
He's clearly on drugs.
He's done the drugs.
He's high as hell.
To be right, I don't want to spoil anything here, but I actually have quite a lot of respect for Dave Arneson, and
me too.
R.I.P. He did die. So if any of his family are listening, we're not suggesting for a second that your father is or son or your relation has done drugs.
We are only messing around.
We are only messing around. He did it one time,
and he wrote about it getting really high.
And other than that, he's lived a very wholesome life. Right?
Total.
He had one spliff.
He had one spliff.
He inhaled hashish.
He inhaled hashish by accident at a party.
He had 1 tons of meth.
Somebody passed him a little pipe. He didn't ask questions.
And
he only sucked off the heroin.
He sucked off once. This is deeply disrespectful.
It is.
I'm cutting all of this. Cool. So, another thing is that Arneson's background was in computer programming, and he ain't a businessman, right? So I understand his ineptitude with all this stuff. Bear in mind, this is his application to be in charge of D&D for the people who make Magic the Gathering, right? But that brings us to the next section, and before you say this, Dave, R.I.P. again, sorry, I have a lot of respect for you, but this next bit is mad cringe. So the heading of this part is computer stuff, and he says... He just starts it with a grammatically incorrect sentence, and he just put, needs to be developed. Lots of potential here. Lots! TSR has been dumb about this from the beginning. Dave starts hopping up and down shouting, I can do it! Please let me do it! The electronic stuff does not have to be in the same location as anything else. Computers are very portable. Most programmers are only vaguely aware of the outside environment anyway, so they can live anywhere. It's a good one. It's a good joke. The middle managers... project leaders, however, are a bit different. The good ones are worth their weight in gold. Now, he is right, but there's 2 issues. First of all, there's the Dave starts jumping up and down saying, I can do it, I can do it. So maybe that's where he should have pitched that as his role in the company, but he's gone for, leader of TSR. But also, his plans for the quote-unquote computer stuff, he's not actually suggesting anything.
No, just saying develop stuff.
Develop computer stuff. Because what does he mean? Online platforms for RPGs, video games, AI-generated dungeons. And secondly, Dave, my guy.
Do you reckon he's saying that they move the infrastructure over to computers to make things faster, do you think?
Well, he didn't write that, did he?
He didn't write that.
No, we got to
you really got to read between the lines with this letter, because he didn't write anything. He just said, look, we've got to do some computer stuff. That's like middle management talk.
I'd agree, though. You do have to do that.
You've got to do something computer-based. But Dave, he's not an ideas man. He's more of a...
He is the ideas.
No, he's the ideas man. But for some reason, that doesn't come across here. But yeah, I think, as I've mentioned before, the manner in which he pitches this stuff demonstrates the humble beginnings of TSR and this hobby. Because... as I said, I think this is probably how he wrote internal memos, right?
Yeah.
And he's bargaining to be a real big man in a multi-million-dollar corporation, right? But he must have known. Part of him must have known that this wasn't a way to pitch it. But there we go. There's a lot more in these 6 pages, but these were basically his main points, along with another section about the relocation of TSR to Seattle, where Wizards of the Coast headquarters are. But... what has he actually proposed throughout this entire letter, right? A. Computer stuff. B. Promote authors. C. Keep pushing products that have proven to not work financially. So in 6 pages, he's actually said very little, and in a moment of self-awareness, he ends the letter by saying this. Fini. Okay, so have I said anything concrete? Well, a few things, but most of these are just observations. Detailed analysis will have to wait. The finality of the sale doesn't make sense. Then some time will be needed to make a few basic decisions, like does TSR stay in Lake Geneva? And them take it one step at a time. No point rushing into things without a look-see first. So Dave alludes to having some more concrete analysis about the state of play at the time. But
he was waiting for them to hit him up and say, yeah, you got the job, and then he was going to provide it.
So I've listened to your ideas about ideas, right? You've had some ideas to have some ideas.
You've got the job, now tell us about your ideas.
Yeah, that's what he was hoping for, basically. But yeah, real shame. So, he should have really started with the ideas, not the idea about the ideas, because that would have really helped, right?
Again, he should have just reached out and said, what's up? It's your boy.
I know
Let's meet up.
Yeah, maybe even just, can I be a consultant on this because I can help you guys? Anything. But yeah, it should have just. But yeah, we got some vague ramblings, a promise of something worthwhile in the future. So surprising no one, right? Peter Adkison didn't reply again, right? And if I may propose a theory, the likelihood is that he saw the letter was addressed to someone else because the name was wrong and ignored it. So yeah, that is like that's the end of the letters.
What? How old was he when he wrote these? Do you know?
No, but hang on, let me do some quick maths in my head. About 40.
I was going to see if he'd lost his mind.
Well,
no, it would have to be very early on dementia or meth.
I was going to say it's very it's very sad to see, like how the company was when he was running it, when his company basically, and him and Gary Gygax were running it. Now he's faced with like begging a giant
to be involved in his game that he made.
Yeah, but like from a giant corporation,
terribly.
It's just like something totally different.
Can you imagine, like, say for example, this podcast got bought out by Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
And then we were like, Joe, come on, man.
Come on,
please. I've got an idea. Computer stuff.
I'm really high, or I'm going to be. But before I give you the idea, if you give me the thing with computer stuff.
It's usually Joe Rogan.
But then we misspell his name like Joe Robin or something.
Joe Roblox.
Dear Joe Roblox, I've got an idea. Computer stuff. Oh. Hit me up. Oh. So yeah. It's sad, isn't it? It's a sad state of play when he has to beg, sad. And you can see his passion for it as well. Which
if only he was around a few more years, he could have like come out with something like DCC came out with, isn't it?
Yeah, or D&D 2.
Yeah, like Pathfinder.
But then he'd be sued by Wizards of the Coast. So anyway, what came of basically the creator of the hobby after this? Well, during the late 80s and early 90s, while Gygax and Lorraine dredged TSR into the ground, Dave worked with special needs kids in schools in Minnesota, teaching the educational benefits of role-playing and polyhedral dice as maths teaching devices. Alongside this, he worked independently as a game designer and founded and dissolved a computer company. So computer stuff, basically.
Nice.
But ultimately, in the 90s, after hearing nothing back from his letters, he taught computer game rules and game design at the Full Sail University in Florida and retired in 2008. And died in 2009 after a 2-year-long battle with cancer. And he left the world in relative obscurity while Gygax became a celebrated hero. And after his death, his daughter, Malia, said this. She says, "The biggest thing about my dad's world is that he wanted people to have fun in life. I think we get distracted by the everyday things you have to do in life, and we forget to enjoy life and have fun. But my dad never did. He just wanted people to have fun." And I think if there's ever a sentence that summarises what makes the hobby special, it's that one. And I know we've been quite silly throughout this, but what you can see is that this is a man that was not business-minded, but he was the ideas man. He was good at creating fun, and he was passionate about what he did. But the unfortunate thing is when, quote-unquote, the suits got involved, it ruined it. But somehow that didn't destroy his passion for the product.
No, he always had it.
Whereas Gygax supposedly started to hate it after a while. So there we go.
He just wanted to collect the cash in it and be in Futurama and that.
Yeah.
It's interesting, like, because I suppose we've seen other people in this sort of light where, artists, musicians and all that, where they sell out, we say, like, we like their music when they're younger and then they sell out and then their music turns shit. That's kind of like
Well, I mean, a very good example about this is Blink 182, who are coming back apparently.
Yeah, Tom's coming back as the.
Because the thing is, when they were just about making fun music, right? That's when they're at their best. It was when they didn't give a shit.
But that was.
And then you remember when they started making the serious stuff like "Miss You." Who are you? And I'm so sorry.
Cannot eat. I cannot sleep tonight.
Miss you, miss you. So, but this is similar to that. But I think it's commendable that he never lost his passion for it, even though he seemed like his letters are fucking nuts. You can see he was still the same guy after all those years and didn't let it batter him down. I would have just moved to another planet, probably, but there you go.
I think it's a shame that, say, no one around him or he didn't have the foresight to try and get someone else to help him with that journey. Like, he could have, got
hit up one of the old TSR guys that he was mates with or whatever.
A PA, an editor, someone just to go over his letters before he sent them, or someone to actually just be like, right, I'm really passionate about this. Can you try and
help me word it
for
in a
me?
way? Yeah.
But he doesn't know any of that stuff, though.
He probably didn't know to ask because he probably thought it was fine. Because that's, he was just a guy, and then the D&D became too big. Do you know what I mean?
It's good to know that he was teaching the hobby still afterwards.
I know,
in his own ways.
So cool.
It's ahead of its time what he was
So
doing.
now we know about the man. Are we sorry about saying that he was a drug addict and an alcoholic?
A little bit.
Obviously, yeah.
Sorry about that, mate. Sorry about that, mate. It's alright. It's only bants, innit? But no, we respect you, man. Mad respect. But also, sort of like, do we like Gary Gygax anymore? I don't know.
I think I might hate him.
I think I might hate him, yeah.
I feel like Gygax sort of turned into a bit of a cunt.
Yeah, sounds like it. But I think Dave has become discussed more and more as the history of TSR is uncovered. But clearly he's a man remembered and respected by a lot of people. But what's clear is that he deserved equal, if not more, credit for what he did to the hobby.
So what are you going to do next? Are you going to make me hate Steve Jackson or Sandy Peterson or something like that?
Sandy Peterson, he is one of the world's foremost rapists. No, he's not. I don't. That was a joke, and nothing about that statement is true. But yeah, corporate greed. I really hate it. Anyway, this episode is brought to you by Manscaped.
Raid Shadow Legends.
We haven't been sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. We're not even good enough for them.
Fuck's sake.
Right, should we do some electro letters?
Yeah, please.
In the future, you will be able to send a letter or parcel from anywhere on the planet. This, sir, is the electro letter.
Parting every time. Eating their insides.
What's that serious one they made that was good though? Where it's like do that one.
What the fuck?
I mean, what the hell? It's about divorce, the parents divorcing and that. That was
An indecision to divorce you.
that was a banging tune. Like that was the serious. Sorry. I can't help myself when I'm around him. Sorry.
Right, let's go. I have hit record.
To be on the podcast.
Shut up.
Oh, baby, on the podcast. How cute.
On the podcast, baby, on the podcast. Right, this is your electro letters. We're going to read your correspondence. The Black Man, he says, if you could create a social media space for tabletop RPGs, what would it contain aside from you yelling copyright? Don't know what that means, but yeah, social media space for RPGs. What would it contain? Go.
No, it does know what it means, because every time we talk about any product or anything that we think up, we go, oh yeah, copyright.
Yeah, I know, but that'll be assumed. Our social media space will just have that on the screen at all times.
So what I would do is I'd have like loads of cool sort of tabletop stuff, dice and that, that you could roll on the computer, and then I'd call it Roll20.
Oh, okay, good. So, but Roll20 isn't perfect, but it is pretty much fine.
Yeah, it's banging.
But social media space, because Roll20 isn't. Well, it kind of is.
Well, if the 3T had a social media space, it would probably have a lot of dicks on there.
Judging by our Discord, yes.
Yeah, and then it'll just be. I think it would just be a pit of
despair.
Despair, a cesspool of incest.
Loads of gifs all over the place.
Actually, yeah, just gifs.
Papa Roach plays as soon as you get on the website. Be like the old MySpace days. I think if I was going to do one, I'd just do Google Plus again, because that was for some reason amazing.
Yeah. To be fair, that had the best communities out there.
For tabletop RPGs, definitely, I loved it. He follows up with a second question, and he says, "How do you prefer your coffee, James? You like a breakfast coffee at any time of the day?
What is a breakfast coffee?
Cappuccino.
I just like black.
That's a dessert coffee.
Yes, a dessert or breakfast. No, you get cappuccino when we go to Costa, innit?
Oh, yeah. I quite like coconut cappuccinos now.
Yeah.
Does your boyfriend like them too, or?
Yeah, Jerome.
Good. Black, like God intended, please. And I like a light roast, right? And here's why. People think dark roasts are more caffeine, but they're not. That's dumb as fuck. But light roasts have more flavour, in my opinion. But I do like a dark roast from time to time, but a light roast.
I like dark because I like
the
bitter.
medium roast you get from Central America, so something from
Wisconsin.
From Honduras or something like that.
Honduras in Mexico, of course.
Guatemala or
Guatemala, of course.
In Central America.
You mean the Americas?
Yeah.
Right, okay. I thought you meant the US of States.
Or maybe a nice Colombian one. Something sort of hazelnutty, and I like it nice and black.
Yes, good.
Yeah, black.
Third question. Where do you place Freddie Mercury on your list of all-time great British vocalists? I mean, he's pretty high up, isn't he?
Well, yeah, he is. He's an icon.
But he, as we all know, was Indian. So
British vocalist.
get out. Well, actually, no. To be fair, Indian.
If we're talking only British.
If we're talking the Raj days,
yeah,
then yeah, fine. But no, he was an amazing vocalist. Obviously, he's like one of the best ever. And now, have you seen Queen is still touring? And we've got some cunt who wears fingerless gloves while he sings.
It's not Queen, though, is it?
You can't do that, though.
It's so annoying. And
you can't try and personify someone. You can. The essence of Queen is gone, really.
He was the main one. Let's be honest.
Surely you immediately need to. I mean, I'm not trying to diss what they're doing because there's people that probably still support the
idiots.
rest of them. But I don't think they should try and be Freddie.
But also, Brian May is a twat. So
he sells himself out all the time.
Because there's this whole thing, like, there's a meme that's like, what wouldn't Snoop Dogg do for money? Because he will appear in anything. He appeared on that Metallica.
He don't even care, though, does he?
He does not give a fuck.
He was in Trailer Park Boys.
He was in Trailer Park Boys. He's done songs with Psy. He was on Rhythm and Flow. He'll do anything. But Brian May is essentially like that. I've seen him live more times than bands I like because he'll just make an appearance for £100.
Also, Brian May is like a massive gatekeeper of Queen's history. He'll try and keep stuff secret.
So that absolutely apocryphal rubbish film, Bohemian Rhapsody, he had a lot of control over that. And it is one of the stupidest retellings of that history ever, right? Because you think about it, right? Freddie Mercury was like quite a powerful, cool individual, right? And part of that was that he was a homosexual, but not a flailing Nancy. Do you know what I mean?
He was bisexual, actually.
No, he wasn't. He had one relationship with a woman, and
you realised it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was like, hang on a minute. The downstairs area is quite different to what I'm used to.
I prefer the other side.
But in that film, right, they emphasise that because him and that lady, they ended up being mates, right? They emphasised that more than him being gay, which was like, surely that was a part of why he's so iconic, because he was such a badass.
Well, the thing was, he just didn't care. Didn't ask, didn't care. That was kind of like his attitude. He was just like, well, I'm me, fuck you lot.
But you should watch this fucking film. Like and bear in mind, Brian May was like creative director of the film, and he just retold everything. But the funny thing is, like, it's so fucking cheesy, right? Like, obviously, it includes a section where a record exec is telling him, "Nah, this will never work. You're going nowhere with this stuff." And then they do anyway. And then there's a bit where the whole band are arguing, right? And the drummer just goes dum dum ch, dum dum ch. And then they're like, wow, that. And then somebody starts doing the guitar, and then Freddie starts singing. And it's like, are you joking? And then there's a bit where they're coming up with Bohemian Rhapsody, right, the song. And he just keeps telling them, right, sing it higher. And it's like, but it wouldn't be in tune. You would say do 1 octave higher, or do a harmony or whatever. It is just the most rubbish, stupid film I have ever seen. It is such a load of wank. And the extent of Freddie Mercury being gay in that film is that at one point you see him give a sly look to a truck driver when they're in a services. That's it. And it's like, it's implied that he has just been bummed. And also, like, he did a lot of drugs, right? And that is also very much glossed over. There's one part where you see some cocaine on a table. But yeah.
So Brian May didn't really like the fact that Freddie Mercury was gay then, really?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they did it to make it appeal to more people or something stupid like that. But also, Sacha Baron Cohen was set to play Freddie Mercury, which would have been a good fit, right? But he actually noped out of the film because Brian May made up so much of it. So fuck Brian May. Freddie Mercury's awesome. That's the answer to that question.
Wow.
But yeah, Kill Defences. He says, what's the most disappointment you've ever had in an RPG product you were looking forward to? Alton Towers. Next. That's one for the Office fans. Veins of the Earth was a big one for me. It's because it cost me quite a lot of money, right? And it's a Lamentations supplement. It's very sought after because I had a short print run, and it's all about caves. It's quite good. But the artwork is awful, and it's essentially like a bestiary with some random ways of generating caves.
I thought you were going to bring up the bookmarks again.
Yeah, but then I didn't pay 70 quid for them, Nick did. And actually, I wasn't disappointed. I found it hilarious because it was someone else.
Oh, yeah, so it was a positive.
But yeah, the thing is, that will probably be my big one. Sean, how about you?
I don't really have many disappointments. I just know that things are shit. I mean, to be fair, there are a lot of Kickstarters, like the Savage, some of the Savage stuff, like the Savage Tokatsu stuff.
Tokusatsu, yeah, that was shit. The sad thing about that, right, is it was supposed to be like, Power Rangers in Savage Worlds. The artwork did ruin it, and yes, I am shallow.
The writing was terrible.
Writing was bad. It was clearly written by people who had watched Power Rangers, but little else of the genre. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, the cool thing about it was that the Kickstarter was run really well. They had all the product done, and then they essentially just, a couple of months later, I received it in my letterbox, right?
It fell very much flat after all the hype, didn't it?
Yeah, because it was just naff. It was like, yeah, I don't know. And the artwork was like Steven's Universe, like bad. Like, really, it looked like a little kid's cartoon. And I know Power Rangers is for kids, but like...
like the animation on Steven Universe is really good.
Steven's Universe.
Stop that.
It's his universe, Sean.
Yeah, it's his universe, but it's other people. No, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, those would be mine. James, you don't really own that many, so I don't think you've had any that. You've only got good shit, thankfully.
Yeah, I'm quite
a Chad.
Fortunate.
Quite a Chad.
I think like one of the biggest disappointments was not finishing the Alien game, but is that a product?
We've got bad luck with Alien games, it seems, because it got cancelled at UK Games Expo. Then Nick only ran 2 episodes, and they were amazing, and we wanted more. And then it's like. He's noped out. He's like, peace out, guys. Alright, bye. See you later, mate. Give you a text later, innit? Never get the text. The Buttman, he says, all of the horrible, creepy, awful RPG people you've talked about are hanging from a cliff, about to fall. You can only save one. You have to save one. Who do you save?
Porn guy.
Which one's Porn Guy? Oh, yeah, I would say Porn Guy, yeah.
Well, the monster one.
No, Porn Guy as in the guy that sent porn to my wife.
Oh, yeah.
Because I actually...
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I actually met up with him afterwards. It'll be him. But then he wasn't... Because he's not nearly as bad as any of the others. But excluding him, I would say it's probably Arcadum. And the reason I say this is because he did the calculations, right? And he calculated that only 17.5% of his friends would remain his friends after he stopped his campaign. But I would fuck with the stats by saving him. I'd be like, we're friends. And then he'd be like, oh my God, I was wrong.
What about Grievous? Would you say Grievous?
Well, I don't think he's... yeah. Anyway, I called him Jeevis. But yeah, listen to the last episode, yeah. No, I would not save him. Sorry. But yeah, it would be Porn Guy or Arcadum, probably. He also follows up by saying, this is sort of a multi-part question. It's already been well established that you all make excellent actual plays. What is something that you... Shut up. Sean! You are nothing to do with them. What... And for good reason, I've made sure. What is something that you wish you could do to enhance future actual plays, and what do you think goes into making a successful actual play? Well,
Fucking blood, sweat and tears.
yeah, a lot of work. So I've been editing one for the last couple of weeks, actually, and it's been very hard. It's going to come out. It'll come out, but it's like 75% of the way there. Yeah, so...
If anything enhance, I would... Well, I think it would just enhance recording in general, just to have a dedicated setup which doesn't get touched. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, God, yeah.
Sometimes, you know, we're only human and we kind of fuck up. Maybe don't click a button or click a button by accident or knock a thing or...
Just checked, we're still recording.
Yeah, good. See, that kind of stuff. So maybe we'd have a team behind us to handle all of the recording.
That would be nice, like hire a production studio.
So we would just play the game and do the shit.
I'd like a little Chinese kid who I don't pay very much to do the editing for me.
Layla?
Your daughter is not Chinese.
Well, I think I do have Chinese blood in me.
What, did you eat one this morning?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think yeah, proper production crew would be amazing. One of the things about actual plays is I don't necessarily like to listen to them a second time because they're quite long, right? So Adventure Zone is one that I really like, and they released theirs in sort of a comic format that lets you re-experience it in a slightly different way, which I really liked. A comic would be really, really good. I've thought about doing a novelisation of Dirt Boy Blues with some extra bits added in behind the scenes stuff, but yeah, I think production would be good. I also think a comic would be good, but we're not big enough to have that. But if there are any comic book people who want to do free work for no money or fame,
they'll get fame. They'll get free tea fame.
Yeah, they'll be known by literally 20 people.
Being a master of Photoshop, maybe I could do like like a Photoshop comic for you.
That is the worst idea. Well, you'll just pose like with the characters.
You'll just grab our faces off of Facebook and shit.
It will look like yeah, and then it'll be like stuck on
15,
stuck on some like cyberpunk artwork for Dirt Boy Blues or something. Yeah,
fucking hell.
But yeah, what goes into making a successful actual play, I think, is a unique angle. Right, that to me is one of the biggest things. Like, obviously, we know just plonking a microphone down on your table games is not a good idea.
A unique angle, yes, but also it is the gold dust, the dynamic. You've got to have a good relationship with the people that you're playing with, or at least you've got to have a good radio relationship.
Well, I think because I think yours and Nick's dynamic as your characters is so perfect.
Well, we've always and we've only really done this behind closed doors, but we feel like when we do the actual plays, every time we do it, it'll be like, that was gold. You know, we're always quite pleased with how it's turned out because there's a zone we fall into.
And you bring your A game, and you really get into it. I think so. Yeah, like getting into it is obviously a big thing, but and having that buy-in and really giving it your all. But like a unique angle as well. I mean, Adventure Zone, for example, was just the whole thing was that they were playing as three brothers playing with their dad. And then it became something more, you know.
Yeah, but you've got to have that good mix, you know. Like, I don't think it just has to be all the characters. I think you have to have a little bit of table bants in there, and you guys do that.
Yeah, we've added it in a bit more nowadays. But yeah. I agree. But also, I think knowing the line of what constitutes entertainment out of the table bants is very important.
It's difficult, but I think you guys do a good job.
Thanks,
on
mate.
that.
Thanks.
And I think listening back to your actual plays as well, it really helps when you have an exciting sort of story throughout, but then also the super likeable characters help as well. I think Dirt Boy Blues was the perfect mix of all of this, I think, really, because you had something really, the stakes were really high all the time. You felt like you could die at any time. That's what...
It's very much true, actually. But yeah.
Based on real life.
That's right. Hashtag. But yeah, I mean, like, and a good example as well is what is it called? Here Come the Crows, the Crowmen.
Upstart Crow.
Sounds like crows. It's a Deadlands podcast, and it's a unique angle is that the way he describes each thing as a camera shot, and they play it scene by scene, and there's a lot of downtime where their characters talk, and I'm not talking like Critical Role. I mean, it's like. It's the quieter moments of the campaign that define it. And they do talk about what's going on, as opposed to just talking about their literal backstories. Do you know what I mean? And he does the horror really well too. But there's another one I heard of, but I've never listened to, where it's a D&D actual play podcast, but it's all bards and they're like a band. So
really?
That's a cool, unique angle. And and I want to shout out, there's a podcast called Going Mainstream, and it's a cyberpunk one. And in some respects, it's a little bit similar to the way we do it. It's got music and it's edited, and they're very, very good. Especially there's this, can't remember what class he is, but there's a guy in it that's like a hobo, lives in a bin, and he's really sick. But yeah, it's a very good series, Going Mainstream. But yeah, that's what goes into making it a successful IP, mate. Have a unique angle, have people that and really focus on it.
Be us.
But yeah, that helps. Because we are fucking awesome. No, that we can't. I'm bleeping that. But Sean, you mentioned recently that with your next campaign, because they're very good, obviously, they're very awesome.
Oh, thanks.
You wanted to record them.
Yeah.
And then that all fell apart because I said you can't have snacks there.
I will. But
No, you can't have snacks.
No, but we will have snacks. But you guys have to, like, not eat when you're just talking. That's it. I don't mind it.
But Sean, Sean.
In a weekly game, we can't restrict.
Don't.
An actual play recording, we can restrict.
No, like, my dreams are happening, mate. Look, us guys are cool, right? Like my shit, no.
Listen. Let me tell you an anecdote about why this won't work, right? Because ages ago, when Gary, friend of the show, Gary, he gifted us Dark Cold, right? And we played a session, and I said he sent it to us on the condition that we record it and he can listen to it, right? We did, right? And the thing is, when you weren't talking, you're reaching, grabbing a crisp, and then it was like,
can't help myself. Yeah, I won't do that. But
it's our weekly game. We're not going to be able to eat snacks anymore.
We will be able to.
Wait.
No, how?
Well, can I just interject, right? Because no. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
But it would have to be separate from the weekly game.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
it can't be, because the energy we bring to that game.
No, but it has to be, right. Look, so we're talking about the actual play and what makes a good one. Blood, sweat and tears. So Harrison pours so much effort into it, and then we do at the table. And we do enjoy it, but...
You get that with your games.
You know, we all consider the actual play work. Because we're working, because we're doing...
To an extent, it's difficult.
Whereas our weekly game is not work, it is enjoyment, it is fun, we get to relax.
We're not suggesting that it is going to be work, but we're saying with the actual plays, we have to concentrate very hard to make them enjoyable.
Yeah. So
I'm
up for doing an actual play of your design, and if you want to take charge of it, but it would be hard to do on the weekly table, unless we each had individual mics.
Condenser mics.
Yeah, like clipped to us.
Yeah.
And then they got recorded separately, and then everyone, you got it edited out. So you will hear the but you have to cut all that out.
Yeah, you'd have to have 4 audio channels and edit out the.
I'm the man who is willing to All
right, so wait.
I mean, we're not gonna just say no. We'll give it a go, but then I think
we'll give it a
you will see
and then
that it's fucking hard.
Be wrong.
Yeah, you'll see that editing out everyone's crisp sounds is going to... We don't even have snacks during our ones, and the amount of times I have to edit out somebody sneezing or farting or just going...
we can't
their mic.
Give this to a wider audience, I don't think, to be honest.
But the thing is, that type of thinking is what everyone feels. I reckon our games are very good and very entertaining, but do you think somebody else is going to think that? No, I think possibly
this podcast is entertaining.
No, they don't. That's the trouble. Nobody thinks this podcast is entertaining.
They actually all hate it.
Yeah. So just tell me this, right? Just one question. So let's say, for example, we sit down, we play, you put a microphone down, and let's just take it as a given that it's going to be sick and everyone will be entertained by it. What are you going to do about the snack noises?
about the toilet trips.
After I edit it out, and I have to also be careful when I eat. I have to be
Oh, you see? See, you were talking
No,
then,
James-
right? And then I made a crisp noise. So you can't edit that out because the audio of you talking is not clean. Do you see what I mean? So that would mean everyone would have to be silent every 5 minutes to take a 10-second crisp break.
And people like talking over me, just in real life, so people get that sort of.
But that's what I'm saying. If somebody eats a crisp at the same time as somebody else is talking, how can you edit that out?
Alright, no, I'm gonna have to give it some thought.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, we will trial run it, but you know, like
Thanks. I appreciate
we,
that, though.
in general, we will walk to say put something in the bin, or go get a snack, or go to the fridge and do
Like
that. But we'll be
foul
talking at the
doobie.
same time, and so that won't get picked up by the mic that's on the table, right? Oh.
Yeah, that's the trouble. That's the trouble. Like, because it's like obviously we're very much into your story and world and absolutely love it, right?
It would be nice for other people to.
But the thing
hear
is
it.
that it's a chill thing. Like we vape at the table, we drink, we eat. You know, it's like.
That's I think part of what's gonna make it. I think as well.
So
to be
it'd
honest.
be like you want it to be like the casual, like this is a window into this game.
Yeah, not only that, but we will have parts. There'll naturally be a good balance of table and character.
All right, well we'll give it a go.
We're definitely going to give it a go.
I'll tell you what. We'll do a trial run, and you can release it on this channel, and then people can see what they think of it.
All right, yeah. Thanks.
You could do a one-shot.
Actually, I do appreciate that. That's
It's a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
But just bear in mind, I'm going to eat so
it's
many.
gonna be
I'm going loud food only.
Oh, going Pringles.
No, that's what you got to do. Get
James-
soft
We're going
foods.
thick crips.
Thick.
James is bringing those posh Pringles that he brings every time.
Yep.
Which ones are them?
Like the sour cream ones, or like
Oh yeah, the weird ones.
Yeah.
We
they're
have
good.
got quite a few more questions, so I think
Oh, yeah,
we'll
let's
took-
do.
But yeah, we'll release one on here. If it's rubbish and it kills the podcast, we kill you.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, Jay Cobbers. He says, as we get more D&D 1 playtests, that's the new D&D edition, it's come out, it's not technically a new edition, releases, do you guys plan to give any commentary, or shall we nominate it right now for worst product of the year in the People's Choice Awards? You can absolutely nominate it for worst product of the year. I haven't read anything about it, or at least I've read very little. I know that monsters can't crit anymore and shit like this. Natural ones don't count as crit failures, as long as you still...
Yeah, but that's the point. In it, that's like
Oh,
adds
love
to
me.
the fun.
Help me. Yeah, it's rubbish. But yeah, we probably won't. I mean, everyone's talking about it at some point. I mean, I'm sure that we'll give it a go at some point in the future. But you know, there's so many channels out there giving their 2 cents on it. So
Even like video game places are talking about it. So.
yeah, they are. Moonbeam, he says, what's a movie, book, or TV show that everyone else seems to love but which you absolutely hate? Please phrase your answer in such a way as to upset the maximum possible number of nerds. And I've got a good answer for this, and I've also got an upsetting way to put it. Star Wars are kids' films. Thank you.
Yeah, but they are based on kids' films, so you are.
What do you mean
right.
they're based on them?
Well, they're based on. Well, actually, I mean, one of the films it's based on, or inspired by, is Wizard of Oz, which is a kids' film, and
You take that back.
Seven Samurai.
It's not fucking inspired by Seven Samurai, is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's why they wear all the clothes and that. The Jedi's.
Kurosawa.
Yes.
Yeah, but Star Wars is shit. Like, it is well shit.
Empire Strikes Back was good. That's about it. Sorry,
Yep.
guys.
Yep, fact. I liked it when I was 7, collected all the X-Wing things, but now I'm an adult man. And to be honest, right, fucking Rogue of Space, remember that thing? That story we read out once, it was like, had a character called Jay Waloo in it. Like, that's pure Star Wars. Did you know that, like, just to demonstrate how bad a fucking writer George Lucas is, did you know that Luke Skywalker's name was originally Luke Star Destroyer or something like this, right? So the ending was already told within his name. And Darth Vader was originally Darth Insidious.
That did actually come back around to there being Darth Insidious.
Yeah, and they're Darth Evilus as well. So, you know, they are shit.
But Knights of the Old Republic.
Great game. Should have had Darth Evilus in it, though. So, yeah, Star Wars is a bit shit. So, James, a book, movie, or TV show which everyone else seems to love but you hate?
Don't know, mate. Don't know.
You like everything, though, don't you, really?
I'm a bit of an everything guy. No, not completely.
There must be something you hate that people love. What about like a band or something like this?
Oh,
Blink 182?
Loads, mate. There's like Nickelback, they're a pile of shit.
Yeah, but that's not an unpopular opinion. It's like that everyone else seems
Kings
to
of
love.
Leon, they're a pile of shit.
Yeah, there we go. It's funny because when Kings of Leon hit big and they had a couple of tunes that came out and everyone liked them, like, that one, everyone forgot the last album. It's like, listen to that. You'll be convinced that they fucking suck. Remember that song? How does it go, James?
Do. Kings of Leon.
No, it was the one. 18. What a stupid song.
And then they changed it.
This team is gonna be around. I hate that band so much. But yeah, people love them. They suck. Sean, how about you? What's something that everyone else loves but you seem to hate? And you have to phrase it in a way that upsets people.
I would say that a TV show that I hate is that bloody Love Island.
It's gotten bad though
Yeah.
in recent years. The last good one was the Aussie one. But so for those that don't know, Love Island is a show where people go to an island and get paired off in couples and get voted out and shit. But the thing is, back when it was good was when they allowed them to have loads and loads of booze and people would fight and people would have huge arguments and it was great. But then now they limit it to 2 drinks per night per person.
Usually when they're drinking champagne, they're not even actually drinking
Nope.
champagne.
It's all become fake and it's all very prescriptive now, which is a shame because supposedly there was a guy in it that had an Afro Samurai tattoo and they were talking about it and then somebody came through on a speaker and said stop talking about anime and they're only allowed to talk about love, so it sort of ruined the show.
Is that why they go so mad at the end of it then?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because they're only allowed to talk about those things while they're in there. They get 1 day off a week. They also it's like loads of weird things. But some guy got the last good series. I would say there was a guy that got sacked off of it for saying cunt punt.
Oh, I just figured out one thing that I don't really like, or at least I just didn't get it. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, see,
that's like one of my favourite films.
Yeah,
but you have to really like film. Like really, really, really be into films.
Like especially classic stuff. And fortunately, because of our dad, we've watched and our mum, we've watched a lot of really old films.
It's loads of like really super specific nods to loads of things. So if you don't like it, that's actually a bit understandable.
But I didn't like it on the first watch, but the second I, noticed a bit more of it. But yeah.
You have to feel.
Also, here's my last one. The quote-unquote American remake of Ghost in the Shell is better than the original anime.
That's fucked up. That's...
I'll tell you what...
the comic is my favourite iteration of it. But the American film, which was actually co-made with a Japanese studio with a lot of Japanese writers, was way better than the original anime remake.
They did a fantastic
the scenery was amazing.
Version of telling the story. And it made it appeal to more people.
But the thing is... They
casted her perfectly.
She was absolutely perfect because what you have to remember, it's a... This is like in Japan, it's like a sort of anti-separatist propaganda, right? Because there's people in Japan that worry that the future of Japan is going to be multicultural, right? It's just a thing. There's a lot of sort of very ingrained racism. So the idea that the perfect robot was made and it was from a Japanese person, her personality was from a Japanese person, right? But it was put into an English, westernized looking body. It's not because the film's being whitewashed, it's because it's one of the fucking themes of the film about whitewashing of culture in Japan. Yeah. That's what people don't get about it. And fucking the Toho company helped make it. So it's like, how is it whitewashing? How is it westernized? This is about Japan specifically.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, people who haven't watched it would say that though, wouldn't they?
Exactly. That's the problem, right?
We should probably talk about how much we all hate Marvel movies and stuff.
James likes them.
They're entertaining because it's just mind-numbing action.
Yeah.
Like I'm not one of these people that get real deep in the lore and all that. Oh, Marvel. Like I haven't watched any of the series because fuck that.
But at the end of the day, I don't begrudge anyone who likes them, but I also do think that they've become the alternative to the summer blockbuster. I miss like normal action films, like like you would go and see a trashy action movie in the cinema. Like Crank.
That's spectacular.
Like 16 Blocks with Bruce Willis that nobody fucking remembers. I mean, that was a good one. Like, but yeah, that's my biggest gripe with the Marvel films, and I just don't like superhero stuff. So it's annoying that it's become such a big deal.
But you still have to watch The Boys.
Oh, I mean,
actually,
I watched half an episode.
But
it's not enough.
But,
I know.
But you see, like that's the thing where they make it look like Marvel, and it's like a commentary, and you need to watch it. But don't go in watching it thinking, "Oh, I'm going to watch some superhero shit." This like a drama.
But the main character is just a superhero, though.
No.
Okay. Well, yeah, maybe I'll watch the rest of that episode.
You do it.
The trouble is, I sat down to watch it, and then I got bored, and then played Xenoblade.
It's like Gear Solid 2 of TV shows. Man.
Oh, that is a bold claim. Anyway, right, we better move on. Omega Philip. He says, even though the group plays many different game systems, you always seem to come back to DCC. What about this game appeals to you so much and your mates?
Well, I actually think the reason it's DCC is because it's at least the way it revolves around us. What's that?
Oh, it's a scheduled restart for some reason.
Oh, that's scary.
Same here, man.
I think the way that we always come back to DCC, and perhaps the reason you think that is because that was our first actual play, and it's one that we're so used to in that regard that we circle back to it because it's perfect for what we do.
Yeah, because the rules are simple and there's a lot of room to judge, quote unquote, DM the game and make more intuitive decisions with rules. Because that's part of it, and we know it.
And we haven't played it as a weekly table game in ages.
Yeah, long time, yeah. But it's because I always know that we will come back to it for the actual plays because I like it a lot. And it's the simplicity, but it's also the tables and the randomness and things like this with Magic, because that really...
It constantly keeps it fresh.
Yes, exactly.
Because it's not just the same shit again and again and again, where I'm not saying that that's a fault with our systems, but it could feel like that in an actual play dynamic.
Well,
I
mean...
what we've geared it up for.
And when we did Dirt Boy Blues, although that doesn't have Magic in it, we still had those random tables for the hacking and all of this stuff, which was a hell of a lot of fun. And I think that it never gets boring is a big part of it. But yeah, Sean, what were you going to say?
No, I think the thing that appeals to me about DCC is the fact that I play it once every 5 years, I think.
Yeah, you should start an actual play podcast. Maybe I'll do a campaign of it next or something, because that would be nice.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the one shots I played of yours, well,
we've played like miniature adventures.
We had the coffin one. We should just play. You should just do a full one for us, I think.
Yeah, that would be nice. But that's it. Owen, the Cuck Magician, he says several of your campaigns have ended. That's his name on the Discord, Sean.
Sorry.
Several of your campaigns have ended in TPKs and other failures.
Sorry.
Yet your group seem to not only be okay with this, but embrace it. How do you ensure these types of endings aren't full of disappointment? And the answer is you can't. They are full of disappointment.
No, they actually are. Like we said, so we contemplated. Well, we spoke about it on one of our last podcasts, saying that we think if any of our characters died in Sean's campaign, we just end it because they're too good and we're too integral. Fortunately, to a degree, the main guy at the top of the trio is still around, and therefore
we've got a reason to carry on.
We've got a reason, but I do feel like storyline wise, if he died, it probably would have gone in the bin, or as Sean said, completely changed and gone post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, exactly. And I think part of embracing it is like seeing it as a part of the story, right? Because when we've had TPKs, it has given us an ending of sorts, right? Yeah. However abrupt, they can be amusing. Like the sheer disappointment and sadness is also
amusing because
it's like
a shrug.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like even that is a story. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and we TPK'd in Fallout, came back with a whole new group of characters, TPK'd again.
But I mean, I wouldn't want to have a game with no challenge. Where like the characters...
No, but TPKs in your games, as much as we talk about them, they happen more often than any other GM I know, but they're not that frequent. We play full-length campaigns.
Oh no,
before.
I'm just saying like I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like because he said how do you deal with them?
No, he said how do you ensure these types of endings aren't full of disappointment?
Oh, they are, but like the challenge is also not disappointing.
Exactly, and we know that you run a harsh game, so when it comes down to when we win, it feels so much more. There's been times in this campaign where we have steamrolled your enemies because of good plans, because we're always on edge.
In some, if there's a fresh GM at the table, we won't know how to act, and then we won't know whether or not we need to plan. So we could get caught off guard. But we're so used to Sean's GMing ways that we know, all right, literally anything can happen. Like we always bring up the bunny story, but everything could like push us off of our stride, so we need to plan well and have things up our sleeve.
We play like we're on edge the whole time, so it's like you're exactly right. We know that we have to play a certain way, and when we beat Sean, and that's the relationship of the GM and the players.
Sean always phrases it in that way because he's never changed ever since he ran us through the D&D board game.
What I like, exactly. What I like as well is when Sean rolls, right, and in Savage Worlds, dice when it explodes, it means you roll the highest number on the dice. So you get to roll it again and add it to the total, right? And whenever something bad's happen, you always see Sean behind the screen. He'll roll some dice and go, "Oh
no!" Sean has not got a poker face, so it is quite entertaining for that. Whereas, say Harrison does, and he'll sort of like roll and then say he's exploding, and we can hear the rolls, but his face is deadpan. He's like, "Oh yeah, so all right, cool. That's like 84 damage. Yeah, cool." And then Sean's just like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, or it's either that or he goes, "No." But I mean, they're always going to be disappointing, but you have to remember they are still amusing and they are still a part of the game. So
as long as I don't think any of us have really done it, or at least we haven't let our emotions carry us away. But we don't rage quit in those situations.
No,
we may need to take like a genuine 5-minute break at that point, but then we come back to and be like, right, now how's the story going to evolve?
I did Roy Mustang nope out when.
Stop mentioning Full Metal Alchemist. This is not an anime podcast. In fact, we hate anime on this podcast.
That's terrible. What are you going to hate next? Ice cream.
Anime is not as good as ice cream. Jacobers. He says, if you had to each play a Disney villain, who would it be? What class and in what RPG rules set? Now, let's get through this one quickly.
I hate Disney. Oh yeah, I hate
Jafar.
Disney. I forgot.
I got a good. Yeah, Disney. That's another one I fucking hate.
Because he was a wizard for a bit, innit?
Yeah, and rules set.
Well, he turned into a genie actually, so he'd be fucking sick, mate.
DCC.
I'd be Walt Disney. Kidnap.
I was going to make that same joke.
Kidnap some.
That's
children,
the real villain.
Made them my workers. Take people's ideas and sort of like act like they're my own.
I would be Walt Disney. Take all of the players' ideas, pretend I made them up, right? And then I would also play the system I would use be that white supremacy RPG. Look at the history, ladies and gentlemen. He's a racist.
And then also, like the stealing of public domain ideas and then copyrighting.
Well, it's not stealing it. That is stealing it. Yeah. Did you know that? And with the Alice in Wonderland Disney version, Lewis Carroll's family tried to stop him from putting it out. Once it was made, they got a first screening of it, and they said they'll give all the money back if they just don't put it out.
Oh. Yeah, they got Black Ariel, so it's all sorted. Everything.
I love the memes that have come out of that, where people.
Ariana Grande started out looking like Ariel from The Mermaid. Now she looks like Ariel from The Mermaid.
Well, there was one where people are doing like posters of memes where they've been racially swapped, and there was one called Tom Hanks is the last N-word on earth.
Oh yeah, Christ.
What was that other one as well? It was like Sean, you found one. It was like I ain't finna die or something like this, and it was like
it was Morgan Freeman.
Chris Pratt was Rosa Parks.
Yeah, Rosa Parks. That was it. I ain't finna move to the back of the bus. Yeah, that's so good. There was one as well with some albinos, and it was it's so good. All right, well, we've got one last question. In fact, we got two, but we're gonna have to cut it short. Lassie, he comes in with a question. He just says one question: legalize it. I think he's talking about marijuana.
Wait,
What? No, he's not. He's not actually. He said it. So what is it?
Like Cousin It from the Addams
I think he's talking about weed, right? Because Cousin It from the Addams Family and the film It, or the book It, are already legal. So what do you reckon, Sean? Legalise weed? You don't ever smoke it, so...
Well, I mean, I'd say that you probably like have to lower crime, because then it would stop criminals from selling it. That's basically it.
They would just sell something else.
Yeah, like skooma or something, innit?
We'd have nice, better drugs on the streets.
But I'd probably say for the people with Parkinson's and stuff like that, probably, yeah, definitely.
For the medicinal benefits, I think it would be worth exploring that avenue, yes. But for the recreational side of it, it would be really hard to put a lid on.
But in America, you do have to have a medical thing to get it. It's very strict. You can't just go to any doctor and ask for a medical... Oh, wait.
You can.
Wait a minute, wait.
Like,
you can.
You just tell them you have glaucoma and stuff, and then...
Fucking... I'm not going to mention his name, right? But glaucoma, right, often leads to blindness. And that is one of the only things for which, that and Parkinson's, you can get legal weed in this country for, right? And I know somebody, and you know him as well, who once said he was going to try and contract glaucoma to get medical weed. And he really meant it.
That's really messed up. I mean, I actually have a history of it, and so do you. But
No, I don't.
What, in the family?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, in the family?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's a bit scary. Hope you're right.
No, I hope we get some free weed. I do not smoke weed, by the way. But that's not even a joke. Sure, neither do you, right? That is a joke.
No, that's terrible. But also, do legalise it. But also, it would be quite difficult, as James said, to do so. But
I'm sure there's been research, by the masses, like how it would improve the economy of the country and all that stuff. And yeah, that is a fact. But
as a non-weed smoker, me and you, James,
yeah.
Weed smokers are fucking annoying. And I would hate for there to be more.
It's not black and white.
Stop annoying me, man.
It's not really black and white, because I do agree with that. Some people have it as their whole personality, but then I like coffee. It's not my whole personality. That's stupid.
Well, I look at you and just look like a bean, mate.
Brilliant.
Stop that. Don't do that.
No, but coffee is your whole personality. Because growing up as a young black man, the last N-word on earth.
Enjoy it like you do with other things.
I don't enjoy absolutely anything.
But I mean, I suppose nerds, I suppose shows I like. It's my personality, so.
Yeah, you're just a weeb.
Yeah, you watch a lot of Trailer Park Boys, don't you?
Fuck off, Leahy.
Brilliant. Right, that is it. We'll go to the outro.
You are liar. You are the judge.
Hey, shut your mouth. Don't shout. I fuck you right here, motherfucker. You don't know me. Don't motherfucker try to be smart ass. I fuck you right here. Motherfucker. How much you pay? $50? You're a motherfucker, you are. You are. Respect yourself. You are a fucking Pakistani asshole. Fuck you. Fuck yourself. Fuck you too, man.
Well, this has been a pod.
Do an outro jingle. Da, 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 da.
I'm definitely cutting that. That cringed the fuck out of me. Right, so thank you for listening to this episode. Dave Arneson, respect. Everyone left a question. Respect. That trumpeter that we hired. Respect. But yeah, if you want to email us, 3trpgpod@gmail.com. Of course, the Discord server will be in the link. Join that. There's a lot of cool people in there and a lot of not so cool people.
Do some patron stuff.
Go to Patreon, search up 3TRPG Podcast and donate, because we will stop.
And I hope this podcast made your day a little better.
A little better. That's quite sweet.
It did mine.
That's nice.
Yeah,
and also,
these mics aren't anything on. We just got you out to cheer you up.
Yeah, we're just pretending. You're never going to hear this because we haven't recorded it.
No.
But just before we do sign off, DTRPG, check out some published goods.
That's right. We got some joke products on there, some not. If you want to support the show but don't want to donate monthly, just go and buy a product, mate. Don't get that Saga of the Goblin Horde one that's free like everyone keeps doing. Annoying the shit out of me. Buy the more expensive one.
Although,
don't at full price, because it's just 6,000 quid.
Buy a DCC storage box now.
Do not buy that unless we make one.
Yeah.
Bye everyone. Well, I've been Harrison Hunt.
I've been James Clark.
And I've been Sean the Hunt.
And remember that D20s are cool, but legalising weed, now that's a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Henry!